2-year agreement with the U.S. government.
It has become clear that the position of the new Patriotic Party and the position of the National Democratic Congress on the issue of the two gentlemen are the same.
Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, however, flatly rejected the assertion of the Boko Central MP. Former Deputy Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayini also refuted the claim of the minister there was no exit arrangement in the agreement admitting the two into the country. According to the Bolgatanga East MP, once the agreement is expired, the detainees should have been returned.
In the circumstances, it is not proper for the minister to try to shift responsibility by saying that this was signed by the previous government. Of course, as an administrative matter, it is true that it was signed by the previous administration. But if there's any substantive obligation arising out of and in connection with this agreement, it is a matter that must be handled properly by this current government.
Defense Minister Dominic Nituwo, for his part, cautioned his colleagues to be measured in their utterance regarding the matter given the security implication. He wondered why the minority wants the two to be sent.
By the action of the NDC government, they are refugees. You took that decision. You knew that you had made the people refugees. You are committed to the people of Ghana, holding them as refugees, knowing that it is extremely difficult to repatriate people into Yemen who are on daily basis fighting one another with no functioning government. And then you come out and say, send them away. Send them to where? Send them to where?
National Security Minister Albert Kandapa said the two cannot be sent back unless they agree to go, given the refugee status granted them.
There are implications that go with being given that status. One of which is the decision to let him go or not does not just rest on government, but on him. The people must agree to go. It changes the whole equation. And these are the two problems that we are facing, which I believe this House should help us to resolve.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu said the argument that government hands are tied is untenable. He argued government must revoke the refugee status of the two and send them back.
As if the approval and disapproval, deportation and admission of government to, how does it improve the quality of the Ghanaian? That yes, that today the Parliament of Ghana, you want to take credit. The MPP say they want to take credit. Take, it's your credit. Take them and send them away. Every credit you want, you have it. You are taking credit that they are refugees. If you don't want to recognize them as refugees, the law is in your hands.
Majority Leader Oseche Mensah Bonsu accused the former Foreign Affairs Minister Hannah Tete of hiding crucial information about the ex-detainees from her successor. He, however, demanded a continuous monitoring of the men even as they stay in the country.
In July, we are told, July 21st, 2016, that they were accorded refugee status. The Speaker, and that is why it is surprising to hear from the Honorable Okujeto, who says that the minister is bringing this on us as a surprise. Yes, indeed, it's a surprise designation because on the day of handing over, this was not part of the handover note to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And the question to ask is, why was this kept as a secret from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Speaking to the media after proceedings, the Foreign Affairs Minister accused the Mahama administration of entering into a bad agreement.
We're still exploring the options.
Take a listen.
The Anyaso-Wutum MP further made some startling revelations in the agreement, which had to be sent to Parliament for ratification following a Supreme Court judgment. According to Shelley Ayoko Boche, there was no exit plan in the agreement. She added, the decision to grant the two refugee status by the Mahama administration makes it practically impossible to send them back.
The very last minute during my negotiations that they had been granted refugee status and that they are indeed refugees in Ghana. This meant that they could only leave this country if they consented.
Ayoko Boche nonetheless assured appropriate authorities are examining the matter for a permanent solution.
We are constrained as a government to explore any other option at this time. But then we will await an in-depth examination of the issues by the appropriate agencies.
Minority spokesperson on Foreign Affairs Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa described the assertion by the minister of lack of exit arrangement in the agreement as strange. He, however, assured of willingness to assist government in arriving at a decision.
We need to know if it is the case that the Foreign Ministry did not have records of this refugee status. And right or no, Speaker, we also know that refugee status is also for a period. Refugee status is not permanent, it's not forever. That information has not been provided to this House. This House deserves to know how long the refugee status is. Has it expired? How many months more do we have? I believe that this is information that is vital.
MP for Kaikwe Central, Patrick Yaobuama, admonished the minority to refrain from playing politics with the matter since government is trying to clear the mess created by the past administration.
Let us know what you think about this story. You can tweet at us on our social media pages, and we'll be very interested in reading your comments. Now, away from that, the Ministry of Education has visited the Omanjo MA Basic School in response to GH1 News' expose about the plight of pupils. Now, head of the Public Relations Unit at the Ministry, Dan Osman, has assured the problems would be addressed. Here's a report by Dela Michelle.
Pupils of Omanjo MA Basic School have now become carpenters due to the lack of furniture in their classrooms. With a student population of over 2,000, a chunk of them are without a desk. They are sacrificing their lesson hours for a decent desk to help them study. Certainly, this is not what they came here to do, but the prevailing situation leaves them with no choice. Omanjo MA Basic School is the only government school here at Omanjo Sultum in Accra and serves not less than 10 neighboring communities. Just a week after the story broke on GH1 TV, officials of Ghana Education Service, together with the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education, Dan Osman, visited Omanjo MA Basic School to find out the issues of congestion, poor sanitation and the lack of furniture. Upon arrival, officials were taken to most of the classrooms to see for themselves the studying condition of these people. Shock was written on their faces as they could not believe their primary pupils were sitting on the bare floor to learn for long hours. The situation was even worse as they visited the junior high block. All the classrooms were congested, with teachers left with no space for movement. Pupils were sitting on walls, while others were writing on their bags. For those who seemed to be sitting on chairs, it was appalling to discover that they were actually sitting on this slab. Falling of pupils off their seat is an everyday spectacle because of the deplorable nature of the chairs. But students are not the only affected by the lack of furniture, as teachers have no choice than to use the spout slabs as tables. Speaking to GH1 News, Head of Public Relations of the Ministry of Education, Dan Osman, said the situation at the school was terrible and has assured that the ministry will take immediate actions to resolve the situation.
Yeah, this is a very serious situation in Greater Accra, in Accra metropolitan area. I mean, it's a sad situation. I wouldn't see how my child could come, and sit on the floor to write or sitting on a block to write. It's a sad situation. I wouldn't have believed it if not for the media. We will insist that the Deputy Minister and the Director General come and visit the school. We did some about 2 weeks ago in the Teshi Nungwa areas. So why not Omanjo, which is a real situation.
Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service, Cassandra Chum Ampofo, who could not withhold her shock, indicated that the Education Service has taken keen interest in the school to give pupils of Amanjo some quality education.
It's a serious situation. We're really going to look at it so that we come to their aid as soon as possible. I do not want to give any timelines here, but I'm very sure that very soon we'll come to their help, because we can't sit down or be at the headquarters and see these young children sitting on blocks and on the floor studying. I mean, how effective will the teaching and learning be? It can be. So we need to come in as soon as possible.
Headmaster of Amanjo MA1, Marcus Bruce, said he is relieved that some attention is being given to the school after dealing with the situation for a great while. He thanks GH1 News for filing the story and shared his expectations with the news team.
We are grateful. We are hopeful that by this visit alone, things will change, because for all that we are trying to achieve is for the betterment of the school and our peoples to also go further. So we are grateful for their visit, and we are hoping that they will do something to help the school.
Pupils of Amanjo MA Basic School can now afford to smile as hope has returned. Finally, they can envisage themselves sitting on some furniture soon.
Now, Member of Parliament for Dom Kwabinya constituency, Sarah Jo Asafo, has said there are plans to build over 500 houses for personnel of the Ghana Police Service in Kwabinya. The legislator who was touring her constituency also took the opportunity to visit the home of the slain police officer in Kwabinya.
The MP made the statement when she visited the Kwabinya District Police Headquarters to get a first-hand information about the recent jailbreak which claimed the life of an inspector. She also visited the family of the deceased to pay her condolence on her behalf and that of the government. To the Dome Kwabinya MP, the government is on top of security matters in the country. According to her, a modern facility is yet to be worked on to help the police service work more adequately.
I want to calm all nerves in the constituency. The appropriate authorities, the Interior Minister and the IGP have all assured us of safety in the constituency. And as the Member of Parliament, I want to reiterate that point, that we are all safe. Government is on top of security matters in this country, and we should shy away from the propaganda from the opposition that indeed we are not safe. We are.
Inspector Emmanuel Ashillery was shot dead on January 21 when some unknown gunmen broke into the Kwabinya police station, which led to the escape of 7 inmates.
Now, the Deputy Minister of Education in charge of technical vocational training, Barbara Ayisi, has assured technical and vocational institutions of government's commitment in repositioning such schools for optimum efficiency. Government, she explains, is set to retool the institutions in order to achieve the needed efficiency.
Government plans to provide the needed infrastructure, including retool laboratories and workshops to provide the schools with the needed learning materials to facilitate academic work. Addressing students of the Cape Coast Technical Institute as part of a tour of some technical and vocational institutions in the Cape Coast metropolis, Barbara Asha Ayisi pledged government commitment in ensuring that students have adequate classrooms, desks, and tools to support their education. Teachers, she added, would also be well motivated to give of their best in the teaching and learning process, as staff accommodation challenges facing such schools will be addressed.
What we are doing now, the Ministry of Education doing now, is realigning. It means that we are bringing all the technical institutions under the Ministry of Education, and across the country, all the ministries with some technical and as well as vocational kind of training going on. We are going to bring all of them under the Ministry of Education so that we'll be able to monitor, be able to support them, the areas with regards to infrastructure or the facilities that we need.
The principal of the school, Ernest Edusei, was pleased by government's plans.
Now, former President John Agyekum Kufuor has been speaking, and he has called on ECOWAS to profess a long-lasting policy aimed at addressing the nomadic herdsmen menace in the country. He spoke to the media yesterday.
I know that ECOWAS currently is being addressed with this matter that could lead to clashes even among our countries. But I think we should step up with the protests we make at the assemblies of ECOWAS for all the countries to come by common policies on how to control the nomadic herdsmen. What we should be perhaps thinking about as policy is encouraging the local governments across our country to see if they could develop ranches that could be leased to these farmers, herdsmen, so when say they are forced by climate changes to come here, they know where to go to, and they should be directed to go there. It should be law enforcement, and if they should violate the laws, then the laws will deal with them seriously. But so far, I'm not aware of such ranches. We could generate resources for the local councils or assemblies to use in also providing services for their people. And of course, if we could shepherd the herdsmen to move in this direction, then the settled farmers may protect their lands, and they could pursue their agriculture with some peace, and to avert the clashes that we are now being subjected to.
Now, how comfortable or uncomfortable do you feel when you find yourself in a commercial vehicle? And what is your choice of a taxi if you want its services all to yourself? Wisdom Amehame is a 30-year-old taxi driver who has decided to provide the best of customer service to his customers. His aim is to make his customers feel as comfortable as possible and to give them extra value for money.
In my quest to search for a taxi for an errand on a stressful afternoon in Osu, I chanced this Honda taxi among the lot. My destination was to the Ghana Institute of Journalism. Just as I entered the taxi, I was welcomed to a soothing gospel music which immediately calmed my nerves. I inhaled a refreshing air, probably coming from the air freshener in the taxi. I was asked by Wisdom, the taxi driver, if there was anything he could offer me. In my curiosity, I asked what he meant by that. In his taxi, Wisdom offers free Wi-Fi services, provides free phone calls to his customers who have to make emergency calls, and serves sweets, and all are for free. These curtains have been provided to shield customers from sun rays, and this umbrella is what he uses to help his customers, especially in the rainy season. That's not all. Wisdom accepts mobile money payment for his services. Despite all these special services provided by Wisdom, his fares are moderate.
If you sit in the car, I want you to feel comfortable like you are in the home. I just say something in case you are taking someone money. Why you take the money, you have to provide something nice to your customer so that they will feel comfortable. Some of the drinks that people normally sell in the traffic, sometimes we don't check the expiry date. So I decide to buy those things. After I'm going to buy it, I have to check the expiry date so that everything will be neat in my car. So if the customer buys it, I know that it's not going to take a food poison. Most of the time, people sit in my car and say, wow, no man, why do you stay in America before? I say, no, I'm not even visiting Kotoka International Port before.
The young cabby is married with 2 kids and tells me he is proud of his taxi business, which he started about a year and a half ago. Most of his customers are the affluent in society who have their personal cars but will call for his services anytime they feel the need not to drive. Wisdom has bigger plans for the future.
I'm planning to get a more taxi or have a bus that I will do a breakfast in, a lot of things in. Any customer will sit in, or if you are coming to me or you are coming to take the car, you have to give us a call, whether you like the coffee or Milo, whatever you like. The moment you sit in the car, there's no ways to waste the time, then we give everything to you quick.
One thing he never forgets to do is to give each and every customer who patronizes his services his complimentary card. This, he says, has contributed to the increase in the number of customers. Wisdom's story is a case of how one can leverage on technology and the changing dynamics in doing business to satisfy one's customers. Only if other taxi drivers in the country will emulate his example.
And the reporter and the story has been nominated for the 2018 Institute of Financial and Economic Journalists Award. And so we wish her all the best. Let's take a break. When we come back, we continue with our business stories. Welcome back and to our first business story. Although the government has achieved overall macroeconomic stability in its first year in office, it missed the over 4 billion cedi revenue target. The development was contained in the latest Imani report on the assessment of the current administration. This is a report by William Evans Inkum.
A key component like exchange rates was stabilized within the first year of the Nana Addo-led administration. Inflation dropped from 15.4% in 2016 to 11.8% by the close of 2017 fiscal year.
Concerning the economy, the government in its 2016 manifesto indicated that it was going to fulfill 146 promises in all. And the main thrust of these policies was to create a business-friendly and people-friendly economy, and also to create jobs and prosperity for all Ghanaians. Now, we note upon our analysis that within the first year of government, there was an overall macroeconomic stability that was achieved.
However, within the first year, government could not achieve the right balance between tax cuts and revenue mobilization. Therefore, it missed its own revenue target of 44.9 billion cedis. Nevertheless, debt to GDP ratio fell from 73% in 2016 to 68.3% in 2017. To Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition NDC, Kuku Enyudoho, the dip is as a result of government failure to spend.
In terms of even managing the debt to GDP ratio, it's debatable. If you are not spending and you say you are managing expenditure, of course, if you don't spend and you sit in one place, you manage expenditure. So marry the lack of expenditure side of the balance sheet compared to infrastructure expansion. That's why no schools are being built. That's why no new hospitals are being built. That is why construction is not going on. So sit on it and say you are managing expenditure, but the economy is not expanding.
The policy think tank's assessment on the government also captured job creation, and the report revealed that government created 10,000 jobs under the artificial pollination projects by Cocoa Board and other job opportunities under the Planting for Food and Jobs.
We know that the government has launched and has begun the Accelerated Oil Capacity Development Program, as well as the Ghana Upstream Sector Internship Program. and this is commendable. Under the AOCDP, 1,000 Ghanaians will be trained annually, including 200 SMEs and 300 employees within the public sector. Also, 43 interns have been placed in upstream oil and gas companies. Now we have a concern here because we know that the oil and gas sector has an enclave nature and is only able to absorb so much. We are wondering the kind of needs assessment that was undertaken to be able to say that 1,000 Ghanaians will be employed annually via these projects.
On cocoa, the report said government was able to maintain the producer price. What the government failed to execute, according to the report, was the one village, one dam policy.
Now, the Ghana Statistical Service has announced producer price inflation for the month of December rose to 8.9% from 7.1% figure recorded in November. Deputy Government Statistician Anthony Amuzu, who addressed the media, said the 0.9% change in the monthly rate was mainly due to petroleum price increases.
The Deputy Government Statistician Anthony Amuzu explained petroleum inflation rose to 36.4% from 27.7% in November. He also noted the mining and quarrying subsectors recorded the highest year-on-year producer price inflation rate of 19.1% from 14.4% in November, while manufacturing rose to 8.8%, an increase of 1.6 percentage points higher from the 7.2%. Utilities inflation for December 2017 was 0.1 percentage points lower at 0.4%. From November's rate of 0.5%. With respect to the monthly changes, manufacturing recorded the highest rate of 1.5%. The utilities subsector recorded no change, while the mining and quarrying subsectors recorded the lowest rate of negative 0.6%.
The year-on-year inflation from the producer's perspective recorded the highest year-on-year producer price inflation rate of 19.1%, followed by the manufacturing subsector with a rate of 8.8%. The utility subsector recorded the lowest year-on-year producer inflation rate of 0.4%. With respect to the monthly changes, manufacturing recorded the highest rate of 1.5%.
And that's it for business, but let's bring you our weather update. That's it for GHToday News. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Thank you very much for watching. We're back at 11:30 with more news. Kafwide.
Hello, Sewa. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing? I'm doing amazing. I'm shaking the world.
Nice one, nice one. Today is Throwback Thursday. I mean, what's your favorite memory of back then when you were a little girl?
It wasn't such a good one. I know sometime I was beaten up for not wanting to go to school.
Hey.
Look at me now.
Look at you now. You did go to school. Good job. Good job. Yeah, me, I was quite naughty. I was beaten. I broke my arm.
There's something I want you to ask the viewers as the show goes on. This whole thing about the Gitmo 2 in the country and the fact that they are not going back. I am wondering, I don't know if you are too, I think it doesn't sit well with me why the NPP during the campaign said these guys were going to go back. Now they're in power and they say that they were conferred refugee status, so they cannot take them back. I mean, that status can be revoked, can't it?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but they are going by the law. And the law says if you're a refugee, well, we are responsible for you.
No, maybe we were trying to reach a lawyer to give us some answers as to whether it can be revoked or not. But let's throw it to the viewers. Let's know what you think. I don't know if you're interested, but I think we need to know what Ghanaians think.
Yeah,
because these politicians cannot be playing with our minds.
It's a top story for today.
It's not fair.
So don't worry, we'll deal with it in our breakfast review.
So that's my sign-out note.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much. Sawami here, bringing you the news every morning around this time. My name is GHToday, and you're welcome to GHToday on GH1 TV. Today is the 22, 23, 24, 25th day of January, and January is still here. Next week by this time, we'll be in February, which is great. Some of you have started getting your alerts around about this time. If you haven't gotten your alert yet on your phone, which means that you've been paid, you send me a message. 0246 020580. On Thursdays we do health, and today we're dealing with cervical cancer. Some of you say cervical, cervical is both, it's the same. You can use both pronunciations, but it's a deadly cancer that we'll be dealing with extensively on today's show. We've got our two guests who will be talking at great length, and we'll be giving you the chance to also get in touch with us and call us and send us your messages about any questions you have with cervical cancer. Welcome to the show. We are going to give you great tracks because today is Throwback Thursday. Here comes the first one. Enjoy.